He needed something tall to climb down on, something as tall as a steeple. To fill the hole in the castle, Harold had a handsome and useful clock in it. He was surprised to see how late it was. He slid down the steeple to find the invisible witch or giant right away. It wasn't a steeple. It was a pointed hat. It was a giant witch. The purple crayon made it plain. It was an invisible giant witch. Well, no wonder nothing grew in the enchanted garden. How could anything grow, Harold said to himself, with a giant witch tramping around with big feet? Now that he saw what the trouble was, all Harold had to do was drive the witch out of the enchanted garden. Mosquitoes, mosquitoes, Harold knew, will drive anybody out of the garden. The mosquitoes drove out the witch. They also were driving Harold out of the garden. He had to make smoke to get rid of the mosquitoes. And he had once heard somebody say, "Where there's smoke, there must be fire." To put out the fire, first he thought of fire engines, but he decided to make it rain. Rain was easier. The rain soaked everything up, Harold too, but he said it's good for the flowers. He was right. Soon there were flowers. Beautiful flowers popped up all over the enchanted garden, more than Harold was able to count, all in gorgeous bloom. Harold thought how delighted and happy the king would be when he looked out from the castle in the morning. And then, amazingly, the last flower turned out to be not a flower at all, but a lovely fairy. She held out her magic wand as fairies always do when they're giving somebody wishes that will come true. Harold couldn't think of anything to wish for, but to be polite, he took one wish and he told the fairy he'd use it later. Besides, Harold thought, as he started on his long walk home, a wish might come in handy sometime. After all the excitement, he suddenly felt tired and he stopped to rest a while. He sat on a small rug because the ground was still somewhat damp from the rain. And he wished. What do you think Harold is going to wish for? He wished the rug was a flying carpet. At once, Harold felt it rise in the air. It flew fast and high. Whoa, do you think you can wish for a carpet to turn into a magic carpet? But when it went so fast, it felt the moon. It left the moon behind. Harold realized he didn't know how to stop the carpet or even slow it down. He wished he'd taken 2 wishes from the fairy so he could wish the flying carpet would land. But he did have his purple crayon. He landed the flying carpet in his living room, right behind the high-backed chair his mother sat in, knitting. Does your mom make anything? And he asked her to read him a story before he went back to bed. So Harold went on this huge adventure. He met a king, a witch, and a fairy. And he met many different other creatures, like he met a mouse. Harold has went on a wonderful adventure. What do you think in this story was real or imaginary? You gotta think hard. Do you think you could see this happening in real life? Or do you think that this could only happen in our dreams when we're sleeping? Or in movies? Or in books? Wonder what? Until next time, friends, I wish you well.